That night, the hospital corridors were as quiet as usual. The night nurse, Aya, was sitting at her desk, filling out reports. Her eyes kept glancing at the clock. It was only a few minutes to midnight. Deciding she needed a cup of coffee, Aya got up and headed to the kitchen. As she stepped into tea, "No one is supposed to be here," she muttered to herself. As she walked further, she saw a silhouette at the end of the corridor. A child, dressed in a torn and worn hospital gown, stood there, tilting their head slightly as they looked at her. Aya's heart began to race. "Hello," she said in a shack. Thinking the child shouldn't be left alone, Aya followed. The child entered one of the empty rooms and disappeared. Aya looked at the door number, 313. She hesitantly opened the door, finding it completely dark inside. As she reached for the light switch, she heard a faint, cold whisper, "Leave." She wanted to turn around and run, but her feet felt glued to the floor. Suddenly, a light flickered inside the room. On the wall, an old hospital photo was hanging. In the photo was the same child standing directly in front of her. Below the picture, a caption read, "Patient 313, missing 1987. At that moment, she felt a breath behind her. She didn't dare turn around, but the cold, rotten smell overwhelmed her senses. The breath grew closer, and the same whisper spoke once more, "Your turn is next." Then the lights went out, and the hospital was never the same again.